All right, guys, the coals are on. Welcome to episode number 15 of the Sunday Smoke, with a podcast about nothing. And today is a very special episode. Today we have another guest on. All right, this man been one of my best friends. Well, actually, you know what? My best friend for the last, how long? 11, 12 years? 13 years?
Yeah, 12.
He's a chef.
Yeah.
He's a chef. He's been all over the world.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
Getting those passport stamps.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chef Giovanni.
Boys,
Welcome.
it's good to be here.
Welcome to the studio, bro. How
Thanks.
you feeling?
Yeah, good. I feel good.
You feeling good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, it's great to be. Thanks for having me on.
Mate, it's been a pleasure.
I've been looking forward to it, actually,
Yeah.
since you had the podcast started.
15 episodes
It's been
in the
doing
making.
great, yeah.
Yeah.
15 episodes, 15 weeks. What's that? That's a few months now.
So that's what?
3.
Almost 4 months.
I left school, you turned 3 months.
Definitely
I,
math.
I dropped out, man.
Bro,
How many weeks in a month?
Oh man, but this episode is going to be a little bit different. Obviously, you know what? Me and Giovanni, we're sharing an ag. Jackson's having his ag.
Nothing
So
out of the ordinary. Yeah.
That's it. He's having Jackson's having some Love 66. I got some lime lit and ours. I saved the best for this one, man.
Yeah,
My absolute favourite flavour. We got a few Coronas on the table. So just before we get started, Jackson, man, this
Corona.
man, can we do a cheers?
Cheers.
I was
Hold
literally
on,
getting the
What's
Corona
going
request.
on?
Man, all right, so
Hey?
we'll do this again, Jackson.
Just
We're going to do a little
rewind.
cheers before we start this episode. So cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys. Good to see you. It's been a while.
Well, that was just like the awkward handshake.
Yeah, but oh shoot.
Oh, you got to keep that in.
Oh no.
Don't-
Shit.
You're putting the egg.
Oh no. I think someone went in the. Alright, so we got lime lit and Corona flavoured in the.
That was
in
a
the box.
stitch up, Jackson,
Oh,
wasn't it?
Oh man, that was very unprofessional.
Oh yeah. Just give me a high five.
Oh man, that's a good hot start. All right, but look, let's get
Let's get straight into it.
Let's get into
it. Yeah.
So Gio, we were gonna start off with a topic just to ease you into things, but you said nah, I'm alright, I'm all good.
Oh,
So
mate.
look, let's kick things off. Let's talk about Giovanni, the boy. Where did it all begin for Gio? You know, in school.
In school. Okay,
Yeah.
I was
What
gonna
kind of a
start
person were
1996,
you? Hey.
I was going to start 1996. You know?
1996. Saw the light. Nah.
Because that's obviously where we met. We met in school, year 7. Used to hang out at the
Yeah.
silver seats.
Yeah. Look, I don't think like year 7 we weren't that close, were we?
I think it was like year 8.
I think like year 8, you know,
Yeah.
we started in classes together. We're hanging out. It was like science and maths, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I was like a C. I'd say C average
Yeah.
D
student.
Yeah.
I struggled to pass maths.
Yeah.
Like
As you could
every-
tell.
As you could tell, there's 3 weeks in a month. Yeah.
Leading up to yeah.
Yeah. Like I was that kind of student where like I tried, but then I wasn't. I was trying for the sake of trying, if you know what I mean. Wasn't really interested in it, and
Yeah.
I mean to the point where I don't know if like. I'm gonna say his name, like Donald. Where like we'd
I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm gonna
I'm not going to say his name, but you know that guy. You know that guy.
Hey, you
that guy Donald.
bro, I don't want to name names, but yeah, Donald.
Yeah. So what did Donald do?
Man, like we'd
Give us his last name while you're at it.
Oh,
Nah, that's no last name. No last name.
Nah, like we'd literally we'd sit next to each other in maths and we'd be cheating off each other.
Yeah.
But we'd still fail.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
test. That's how bad it was.
The blind
yeah.
leading the blind.
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
So I don't know. From there, like actually, so we had to choose our electives for year 9 and 10, right?
Yeah.
I chose PAS, which is sports science,
Yeah,
I think, and I chose architecture. So I was really interested in architecture, and that's actually what I wanted to do. But then there was no classes for architecture. I had to choose something else, so I chose metalwork.
Yep.
So I did metalwork for year 9, which I was actually very good at. I was top of the class. There was only 5 in the class, but let's not go there.
Mate, it doesn't matter, man. As long as you're at the top,
Mate,
man,
I
that's
was
the best.
I was a golden boy, man. Mr. Gunning, he loved me.
Oh, good old. Shout out to Mr. Gunning.
Yeah, and then that class got cancelled, shock horror, because there was not enough students.
Yeah.
So I went into food tech, and that's
Yeah.
been like I really like enjoyed it. Really got into it. I'd always find myself at home. It's not something I really like, I never thought about doing chef or cooking, right?
Yeah.
But I'd always be at home with my mum in the kitchen, just helping her.
Yeah.
Like, literally just helping her.
And
like,
obviously coming
cutting
from an
some-
Italian
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, like mum, and I was just always there helping her. And I think one day my dad, and like I didn't know what to do, and my dad said, "Look, I'm not paying for like 2 years of year 11 and 12 if you're not going to go to uni. What about cooking? You know, because he could see that."
Yeah.
So, and I think I was a pretty shy kid at the time. I was like, "Yeah, all right, why not?"
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I started working in a reception center, just doing weddings on the weekends.
Yeah.
That's
when you were working
I was at school, I think, still. Yeah. And I don't know. There was just this feeling that I got walking in. It was, you know, it's not an amazing wedding reception, not amazing food, but it's still like the procedures and like of a normal kitchen, and it was just this feeling of like this rush and the pressure.
Yeah.
I just felt like, wow, this is really cool.
You felt
know,
alive?
I loved it. Like I don't know, it was just like I couldn't stop smiling, you know. Everyone's just like, hurry up, you know, like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you know.
And you're just standing there smiling. Just,
Yeah, I'm just in the corner smiling.
I'll take my damn time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's basically where it all began.
Yeah. So
I don't know,
you
never-
left. So you left in year 10.
Left year 10. I'm not gonna lie. It was hard because had so many friends. Everyone went to 11 and 12.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, you know, like staring at a wall, peeling potatoes.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
You know? Like this is
Got to get over that hump.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I guess I was earning money as well, and I was just
That's something that you
That
had
was
on
it.
all the
Yeah.
boys. Like, I got money, you don't.
That's it. Like I was earning money. Yeah.
All right.
And I was pretty happy, I think.
Yeah.
And then from there, it got to a point where I couldn't do much else.
Mm-hmm.
So then I joined an agency,
Yeah.
HCN, and then they got me onto Nick's Bar and Grill.
Okay. So that was after the function, the novella. Novella.
Novella,
Was that-
yeah.
that's the one.
After that, yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, so like this agency, they get a lot of trials for you to go to different restaurants, right? So I had like a trial in a one hat restaurant, which is a really good restaurant, like for an apprentice,
Yeah.
right? So that was like Aqua Dining, and then I had this trial at Nick's Bar and Grill. I went to this trial at Nick's Bar and Grill, and now this place is like, it's not a good restaurant, but it pumps out food.
Yeah.
You know, it's very tourist. Like you're doing
Yeah.
500 covers a night.
Mad.
You know, and I don't know what it was. Like the first trial, I went in there and I met the head chef. She was like this little Italian lady. She was about 40, and I just clicked with her, and I'm like, yeah, man, like I want this. I don't know why. I don't know. I just said yes.
Yeah.
And I think it was the best thing I ever did, to be honest, making that move, because then she kind of took me under my wing, like her wing, sorry.
Yeah.
And like went through all the sections, stayed there for like a year and a half.
Yep.
Learning the basics, and then obviously from there, like you get bored, and as like the industry, it's high turnover. So a year and a half after that, I went to the agency again. I said I want to move on, you know, go to a bit better, and then I went to Felix. That's when I'm going to like a big company, Merivale, where I am now. And and I think Felix kind of made or break me.
Yeah.
It was very hard.
Yeah. What kind of cuisine was
Like it was French. It was a French bistro.
French restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah, French brasserie. The head chef was like worked for Gordon Ramsay for like 10 years.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, so you could imagine like I mean, I advise to everyone watch Boiling Point. I don't know if you've seen Boiling Point on YouTube.
You got me on that.
Yeah, man. Like
very raw.
It's very raw.
Yeah.
Watch it, because honestly, like working at that place, it was honestly like that.
Yeah.
You know, and if everyone watches it, then you'll know what I'm saying. It was definitely make or break.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as hard as the chef he was very fair and he was very respectful.
Yeah.
He would give you, you know, if you give him 5 minutes, he'll give you an hour. You know, like that's just how he was.
Yep.
So I ended up staying there for like 2 years,
Two
which
years.
was
Yeah.
and then moved on to Est, and then from there
Est,
just kind
and
of
that's
propelled
where
me through.
Establishment is the
in
top.
establishment. It's not there anymore, but it's level 1 of establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up staying for 3 years, working my way to sous chef, and then that closed down, and then moved to Mimi's at Coogee Pavilion, where I am now.
So if you want to, you know, get a good feed,
Yeah, mate, hit me
from
up.
the man
you know?
himself.
And I can confirm, and I'm not being biased because you're my best
DM
mate.
me.
I've been to Not Mimi's, the one that you were at, the
S.
tapas place.
Yeah.
And I've actually seen you work because that's an open kitchen. It's right there, and I've seen you work. It's like
It was
you can see the passion.
Poetry in motion.
It was very interesting when you came, actually, because you've never actually done anything like that.
Nah.
And I think I just smashed you with food. I think it was like 10 courses.
Yeah.
Like, you went home.
Yeah, I was pretty.
But you
full.
probably shouldn't have tried that
Fat
night.
bastard.
But
Oh, we're talking about when you're at S.
at S,
Yeah,
when you
yes,
came to
yes,
S.
that was another
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
This one I couldn't see him in the kitchen, but the amount of food that just came out was just it was top quality.
And it was interesting, like someone experiencing that who's where like yourself, you've never actually done that kind of level.
No, because you had the
and for you to come out of that and say that was worth every penny, that was like that meant a lot.
Look, man, it was a very expensive dinner.
Yeah, it's not
very, very expensive dinner. Some wine was consumed, and but it was worth every dollar. Like the stuff you're bringing out, and not just that. It was also I loved how you paired, not yourself, but the pairing of the food to the wine.
The wine,
which I'm sure that you can.
The sommeliers,
you can say that actually does make a difference.
It does, it does make the experience.
Yeah.
Although I can't say that experience is actually dying out, and it's more like going into casual fine dining, sharing plates.
Yeah.
But because I don't think anyone wants to like sit down for like 10 courses and spend like 6 hours at a restaurant, like just having their own. You know, it's more like casual fine dining where like you get share plates, it's more interactive.
Yeah.
That's kind of where Mimi's is. Definitely the direction that they're going in. But
and Mimi's is where you're at now.
It's pretty good,
enjoying it.
It's very good. It's busy. It's very challenging at times. But it's great. I love it.
Is the most challenging part about being a chef? Is it the pressure? Is it customer satisfaction?
Honestly, like customers, like you want to take care of the customer always.
Yeah.
And there is always pressure. The hardest thing about being a chef is how to control your pressure.
Okay.
And how to control your emotions.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you could just, like... I've had times where I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I'm not even controlling myself and I just blow up.
Yeah.
You know, because you could be tired, stressed, something happened. It's like time management, you know?
Can I ask, when you do say you're having a bad day, in what way does that impact how you're cooking? When you're a chef, are you talking about like overcooking, turning up, like what? How does that impact?
If you're having like what, high pressure, high stress, if you're having that, it impacts the people around you,
right?
Not just yourself.
Yeah.
So like people would feel like a bit more intimidated. They don't want to work, you know, like with someone that's always angry. You know what I mean? Like it's just not what the kitchen is heading towards.
Because
like
it really is one big team.
It is one big team, you know. And like, if there's a problem, you kind of share that problem, and someone comes up with a solution, you know.
Yeah.
Like gone are the days where Gordon Ramsay just loses shit, you know, and just for the sake of it, not for the sake of it, but
saying it's fucking raw.
Yeah.
It's very blunt.
calling people a donkey and grabbing people's shirts and stuff.
Oh, that one where he's the French chef and he's like, "You fucking pig, you French pig."
like sacking someone because they were guzzling water in front of the customer. Like, So, it definitely impacts people around you, and like it's whether they want to follow you or not. So I think that's the biggest challenge, and how well you can be a manager and control your emotions to solve problems.
Nice.
Rather than just blowing up. That's the biggest challenge, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's mad.
Yeah.
So now you're at Mimi's.
Yeah.
You've talked about. Have you travelled to England?
I've been to London. I've been to London briefly.
Yeah.
I did a stage at, I think, a 2 Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah. Was that Gordon?
That wasn't Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
That was Jason Atherton.
Yeah.
But
still 2 Michelin stars. That's.
Yeah, it was good. It was a big eye opener, because for a long time when I was like 20, 21, I was like, the thing to do in Australia when you're a chef is like, you go to London. That's like what everyone did, you know? And I went to London thinking, this is like, I only went for a holiday. I'm like, this is great and I love it. Like, I did not like it, you know? I didn't like London, nah.
No?
Wow.
You know,
I've not heard of one person that's gone there and didn't love it.
I didn't like how busy it was, how hustle bustle it was, like how everyone on the street is like walking and like they're just like staring straight, like no one's like looking up or like, you know.
Everyone's sort of just
Everyone's just
everyone's so
just sort of
busy.
caught in
this-
their own world.
Yeah, you know, and that's like the impression I got.
Yeah,
And especially the kitchens as well. It is a lot. It is more high pressure, but the food is not that much different to like a
Yeah.
very
Like a
fine dining
Western.
establishment here. You know,
yeah,
and that's where like I kind of weighed up in my head like, is it really worth it going there? Because I know like London, you could work up to 100 hours a week. The
Yeah.
pay isn't that great. Like I think I got offered I think it was $21,000 a year, like pounds.
pounds.
21,000
which
pounds.
probably
a
equates
year.
to what, like 50k here.
50k a year, you know,
Nice.
and then rent in London is like so expensive.
The living expenses,
you know,
yeah.
and it's just
Not worth it.
it just didn't add up, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Like if you went there and you had an amazing experience,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, this is something that I can sort of hang up the boots here for a bit,
Yeah.
take a break from here, and then go to London
yeah,
because you enjoyed the experience. You're willing to take that on, but because you didn't enjoy it,
yeah. I didn't think it was for me. I didn't think it was worth it. I guess everyone's different.
yeah,
I'd rather go to like Italy or another country. You get to learn a different language and it's a different cuisine.
yeah,
And you put that under your belt, whereas, you know, like the French cuisine, it started in England and it came to Australia and it's basically the same
Yeah.
techniques.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That was kind of that. So yeah, went to London. I went to Hong Kong for a week.
Hong Kong, yes.
Yeah, that was very spur of the moment. That
Yeah.
was
You
that
went
was
there
very
with one,
out-
you went there with one of your chef.
well. I made a know he was head chef at 12 BC,
Yeah.
121 BC at Hong Kong, and
Yeah.
I said to him,
That's all right, man. You're working on your mic technique.
I'm like, man, like I want to like. Actually, it was okay. So it was just before end of financial year.
Yeah.
And they're like, you need to take holidays, right? Because
Yeah.
I had like 4 or 5 weeks holidays because I never take holidays. You got to take a week. I'm like, all right. So like a week before, I text my mate. I'm like, what are you doing? I want to come visit you. Like
Yeah.
it was very spur of the moment. He's like, yeah, come, no worries. And then it was very spur of the moment for him as well because he just moved apartments in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So he had no furniture. He had nothing.
Really?
So for a week, we were sleeping on the floor. In
Like a
Hong Kong.
hardwood floor?
Yeah, like I'd stuff clothes into a pillowcase.
Yeah.
And like slept on that pillowcase for a week.
Shit.
And he was still working as well.
Yeah.
So it was very outside my comfort zone to like, he'd go to work. He'd have a day off and we'd hang out. But then the rest of the week, I was just walking around Hong Kong and like
Yeah.
I'd look up different places I want to go to.
Getting amongst the culture.
Yeah, and like it was such an experience where like it's just something where you take time to just roam around and
Yeah.
things just come to you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where if you're always just like okay, I got to do this by this time, then I got to do this, then I'm doing this.
Yep.
It's like you don't take time to just let opportunities happen.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mhm.
You know, so you could I in Hong Kong, I was walking down the street and I saw this really cool noodle bar. So I just walked in and I had the best like noodles ever, you know.
Everyone
And
loves-
that's the experience where it's
You've
just
got to love a good noodle.
you know.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the moment where
and
you just
that's yeah.
take a step back, you
Exactly.
take a breath, and you just enjoy it for the cuisine, for the
Exactly,
culture.
Yeah, and I think it's just important just to do that.
Yeah.
Just like kind of walk alone for a bit, you know.
Yeah.
Take a day, just walk alone.
Yeah.
Like don't have anyone with you.
Yeah.
Just literally walk and like just stare at buildings and walk down the street, you know. Like someone will come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's how you really take things in because we're so busy.
yeah.
We don't take things in. Like even if we talk about shisha for a second, like when we do this podcast, because we're so focused on what we're going to say, what we're talking about, we don't have that moment where we sort of enjoy the shisha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
we can't
right,
taste
yeah.
the flavor as good as we can if we were, let's say, we were just having, turn the camera off. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Or if I'm having one by myself,
That's right.
because I'm in my own thoughts. I'm walking alone, like you said.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the same goes with food.
Yeah.
You know, it really does. You know, if you try something and you just eat it and you swallow it,
Yeah.
as opposed to when you try something, you chew it, you think about it, you're like, okay, you think about the taste. It's 10 times better.
Yeah. It's like when you go and
Yeah.
you're watching Netflix while you have dinner. You're not taking in, what the flavors are or anything.
Yeah,
Because
you're
I know
just staring
that.
at the screen,
Yeah,
yeah,
like a
yeah.
friend of mine talked about
Yeah.
a restaurant where you are pretty much you're almost blindfolded, or it's pitch black or
I
blindfolded.
think I've heard of that, yeah.
And then they serve you food
Yeah.
blindfolded, so that you don't make an assumption of what the food is going to taste like.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that way you're eating it and you're taking in everything. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're going to enjoy it, but you're taking in everything
yeah.
that you're
Just means that
consuming.
your senses are just, what's the word?
Heightened.
Heightened, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, have you done one of those?
I haven't. I've done a couple of blindfold tastes, but
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
not that. What
You'd be like the guy on Kitchen Nightmares. He gives him like a, what's it called? Just a simple chicken. Like he's like, tell me what this tastes like. He gives him a simple chicken, and then he came up with this. Oh, it's a beautiful lamb ragu. in this sort of sauce.
Staring at it.
And he's like, it's chicken, you
It's
idiot.
like, where is your mind at, bro?
It went too far with the blindfold on that one. You got to find the balance, you know.
Yeah.
But have you found since you're a chef, like if you're gonna cook at home, obviously coming from an Italian family, always having family dinners and stuff, do you find it's become a chore at home, cooking?
No, because I don't do it as often. I'm
Yeah.
working a lot.
Yeah.
So when
Oh,
I
you
do
work
it,
heaps, you're double
yeah,
shifts,
I
everything.
do. I do enjoy it when I do cook at home. Yeah, and I do love watching. It's actually it's kind of a fetish of mine.
Yeah.
I love people watching, and I
Yeah.
love people. I love watching people eat food.
This guy's just getting
Oh.
excited.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, it is like I don't know why,
Stiffy
but
coming out.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the facial expressions and everything. I don't know why. I just love it. I just love it.
But you know what? It's all passion.
Yeah.
Man, you know, it's alright if you get a bit turned on. You know,
Yeah.
by watching people.
Oh, what? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
While someone's eating a big cucumber, you know, it's having a pickle.
Yes, he's just having a pickle. What's this?
Oh man, you got a question? You got any questions, Jack?
Yeah.
I do have a bit of a question.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
will go on to something a little bit later on that I want to touch on. But just take aside from your cooking. Now that you are a chef, right? Do you find places like fast food and mass production places? Do you look at that and be like, I don't want this filth? This is filth? Or do every now and again you submit and be like, I could go for a cheeseburger?
Not at all, because you know what? Like, we all, I think, as in a way, chefs, we all strive to be like Macca's.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll explain it.
I think I know where he's going, but yeah.
Macca's is so consistent
Hmm.
in what they do. It's, you might say, oh, this is crap, but you always say it's crap, right?
Yeah, it's the same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
They don't change it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing that we always strive to do as chefs, is just do the same food, you know?
Yeah.
And it's always funny, like, when you do up a new dish, it might take you an hour. Like, when I do a new dish up, then I'll be like, okay, you got to do this in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the challenge, you know? Like, okay,
Wow.
did you do this amazing dish? And now it's, okay, now you got to do like 20 of those under pressure during service. You know what I mean? So, nah, man. And I think, as chefs, we work so much. We love a cheeseburger, bro. I think, like,
Look, let's
like
be.
a dirty Macca's
Yeah.
at the end of the night.
Look, let's
yeah.
be real. After we finish this recording, we're probably going to go.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Macca's. And I love it, man. Yeah.
I don't know, man. KFC might be open.
Gonna get.
Oh,
Oh.
I have a soft sauce KFC.
Yeah.
you look like
You
a
know
big
what? I'm
chicken
gonna bring back. I'm gonna bring back a question that we brought up. All right. Who has the superior chips? We brought this on when we had Ellie on.
Oh yes, all right.
Yes.
I've seen this one.
And this
And
idiot,
this
this
I've
idiot
seen
said
this
Hungry
one.
Jack.
Yeah, this guy would be the perfect person to
look,
ask.
I haven't been around a lot to different ones.
No, we're talking in general.
No, look, Hungry Jack's is good, man. I can't have you faulting.
And
Hungry
that's the
Jack's.
thing. I haven't been to Hungry Jack's in ages.
Right.
You know, I
have
see
to
why.
have
I
one.
see why because
know what I
chips are
mean?
just this, not superior.
Yeah, I do like the burgers at Hungry Jack's. So.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking just chips.
Just chips. I have to say a Porto.
Oh, geez, we got
What?
this.
Yeah,
A Porto.
I found a Porto.
But you know what? I'll put a Porto over Hungry Jack's as well.
You are crazy.
I found a Porto.
Come on.
Porto.
Yeah.
When you get a nice fresh
Try a
Porto,
Porto.
No, look, a Porto is nice. They got nice fries, but I don't think they got the flavor like the other ones.
they do, man.
No, sometimes they're fresher,
I think the thing about a Porto, it depends which one you go to as well.
possibly.
Don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of disappointing Porto
Yeah.
experiences in my time.
But you know what? Like, okay, we're talking about chips, but you talk about like charcoal chicken.
Yeah.
You got your favorite charcoal chicken places. I
Yeah.
tried chicken at a Porto's. It was the fucking best chicken I've ever had.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, yeah, it was so good.
Damn, Daniel.
Damn, it was like juicy. It was, yeah, and I wouldn't have thought it, like, honestly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have thunk it, man.
I wouldn't
Well,
have
that's,
thunk it.
you know what? I'm glad we brought up this point. A Porto. That's,
Yeah,
Wow.
I found a Porto's to be, yeah.
I feel like someone's going to come on this podcast
yeah.
and say like Red Rooster or just something really left field. So, Giovanni, you know what it's time for?
What's the time for, Sammy?
It's time to let the viewers know what grinds our gears.
Oh man, we got some.
It's
We
always,
definitely got some.
and it's always good to bring. It's always good to bring this segment
I
on
feel
when
like,
we got a
I feel
guest
like
on.
Jackson's about to explode, bro.
Jackson, bro, he's boiling, man. He's shaking.
I've actually
Yeah,
got a few
man.
that I can't
This-
choose from right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What's that? Actually, you know what? We're gonna do something. We're gonna start with Giovanni.
Ooh.
What grinds your gears, Giovanni?
I've got the pressure on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it restaurant related
Yeah.
because that's what we're here for. What grinds my gears? This is for most people.
Yep.
When people order a medium well steak,
Yes. Great reference to episode 2. I said
because I can say this: if you want a medium well steak, that's fine, but you got to know what medium well is. I feel like there's a lot of people that come to a restaurant, they're afraid to say they want a well done steak,
Yeah.
so they say medium well, but then they send it back anyways because they can't eat it
Yeah.
Why? Because it's not cooked enough.
because it's not cooked. The amount of times that has happened to me, I cannot exaggerate.
So this, you might be upset with me saying this because I don't understand. All right, I don't understand the difference between medium well and well, because I feel like if you're gonna get a medium well, the point of a medium is for it to be a bit pink.
yeah,
Right.
It's like
Touch.
So if you're gonna go medium well for it to be a bit more cooked, you may as well go the whole way.
that's right.
You might as well kill the
And
whole cow.
That's what I think as well.
Yeah.
Because like medium well, it's still dry. I mean, there's a little bit of pink,
Yep.
but it's still dry, which is how we serve it, you know.
Yeah.
But the amount of I can't exaggerate. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know what it is. People just always send it back, and I always ended up just cooking it well done.
Yeah. Jackson,
Man.
you're up.
All right. The first one I've got are people with the most complicated coffee orders that you could ever imagine, and this goes for you too with your bullshit.
Get out of here.
Your
bro.
freaking medium
No,
hazelnut
No, no. Listen,
I know.
with 5 sugars latte.
bro, this guy exaggerates the truth. All right, I want to tell the viewers my coffee order. It's a small hazelnut latte with oat milk.
No,
Or almond milk.
no. I tell you
Bro,
what.
why do you have to complicate it? You may as well just order a hot chocolate. All right, because seriously, if you don't like the taste of coffee, don't order a coffee. There's
Oh,
no point.
can I
Or
t-
if you want the caffeine, get a V or a Red Bull.
man.
All right, there's
I
no
know,
point of
yeah.
having a coffee if you're gonna
right.
like saturate all of the coffee. All right, with your freaking hazelnut and oat milk. What is oat milk? I don't know anyone that even drinks oat milk.
Yeah.
It's derived from the oats of
Just milk and oats.
All right, I got 2 more to go on
I
from
once
this.
milked an
I
oat.
got two more.
Can
that
I
go
just
on
say
from this.
something?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Stop interrupting
If
again.
no, it's okay. But if I was going to the coffee shop
Yeah.
and I said, "Hey Sammy, what do you want?" and you go,
Yeah.
"I want an oat milk, like skim flat white," I'm like, "You're getting a coffee, bro.
You're getting
See you
a-
later."
You're
You
getting
know
an
what I mean?
espresso.
Like,
You're getting a small,
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
happening.
short black.
It's either
bro.
a coffee or water.
But you know what? No, but that's where I come in, all right? If someone is going to offer to get my coffee, I know that my coffee is a little bit I don't think it's that complex, but it's, to everyone else, everyone likes to hate on it. So I'm like, oh, thank you. I'll order my coffee at the front to save you the trouble, all right? That's the lengths that I go to.
Or you know
'Cause
what
I
you do?
understand. Yeah.
You write it down on little cards and you just give it to people. So have it in your pocket all the time.
Like a
So
business
they can
card
give it
for
to
your
the
coffee order.
barista. Say, "Can I have one of these?"
But okay, I want to go on from this. All right,
Yeah.
people that order sweeteners instead of sugar. What is the reason for that? I'll never understand it. What's the point?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I disagree in a way, all right? Because I'm going to say, because I only get this from Macca's, an iced long black. Have you had an iced long black?
I have, yeah.
All right, you can't do sugar with it. It's got to be sweetener. Because it absorbs better. And every other coffee, all right, I see what you're saying, but that is the exception.
You're right.
to
The
rule.
sugar just goes to the bottom, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's usually like a syrup.
Yeah,
They put
and
in,
it doesn't
like a
absorb.
flavoured
That's the
syrup.
only way. Continue.
All right. I want to continue. All right, people that order just in general large coffees.
Okay.
All right, the large.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
yeah.
because it's more milk than coffee. There is no. You may as well, all right, just heat up some milk in the microwave and drink it. What is the point of especially like a large flat white? All right, you got this much coffee,
A large
and this,
flat white.
and
That's
like
Giovanni's
That's
coffee
me,
order.
That's actually my coffee order. man.
yeah, you as well. All right, what's wrong with you?
I love the milk,
but
bro.
but why so much milk? You may as well. Do you at least get a double shot?
No.
See, if people are,
Can I get a half shot?
But then the problem is, all right, you got the baristas, all right, that are the cafe is wasting their money on all this wasted milk, because you see how they got to open up a new carton of milk every
Yeah.
time people are ordering these large
Oh, the
coffees.
Large flat white.
All right.
God damn it.
Like, you may as well get a double shot, all right, so you can increase the cost of your pay a little
yeah.
bit more, because you're gonna waste all their milk. Imagine if everyone was ordering large flat whites, how much milk would they need to buy?
Oh, man. if only milk was a commodity.
You're
at
saying
that
I'm
point.
putting businesses out of action?
Yeah,
because I'm ordering large flat
in a way,
whites?
because you're limiting their profit margins, right? Because if you order a large flat white, they put their prices up, but not much, not too much.
That's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Right?
And you know, milk is not that cheap as well.
I feel like Jackson. I feel like this is a segue into a
know.
future episode for Crunch the Numbers.
Yeah.
You know, oh,
You're gonna crunch the coffee. You're gonna crunch
you,
the coffee.
you gave me a really
Crunch
good
the
idea
coffee.
now.
You've grinded the coffee. All right.
Grinding the numbers, man.
All right, I got one.
All
So
right,
you're at a car park, yeah? All right. You park your car, and the person next to you has parked way too close
Oh my
to the
God,
line.
Don't even start
Bro.
me.
All right. How bad is that?
Oh,
That's just poor etiquette.
Can I just say, all right, not everyone can reverse parallel park.
Yeah.
Right? That's a given. Now, I'm gonna, like, not everyone can. And that's fine. Okay? Because I understand it's a tough park for some people.
Yeah.
Not for me, but I digress.
Yeah. That's okay.
reverse camera.
But why in the driving test do they make you try a reverse parallel park, but not just a general reverse park into a parking spot? I feel like that should be the criteria to get your driver's license,
very good
not a
point.
stupid reverse parallel park.
That is
You're not
very
going to be reverse parallel parking all the time, but you know what you are going to do? You're going to be parking in parking spots all
Yes.
the time.
Spots all
Yes.
the time. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a very good point.
Good point. So for Service New South Wales, that
You've got to
And-
change the system.
Something that grinds my gears even more on that. So like, someone has parked right next to the line, right?
Yep.
So you've got to park a little bit
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Then that person leaves. Now you look like the idiot,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
You know what I mean?
it's the
Yeah.
it's the
So like you're
domino
getting,
effect.
so you go
Yeah.
back to your car and you're getting stares.
and then it starts a snowball,
snowball
effect too,
effect,
because
yeah.
they park close to the line. Say they don't leave, you have to park closer
Yeah.
to the other line. Then they got to park even closer, and
Yeah.
then maybe you might come with some dickhead driver. All right, that's going to park over the line now. So now that takes out a whole nother parking
Mate,
spot.
it's just it's not economical at all.
Disaster.
So people, please
Please just park.
learn how to
correctly.
park.
Learn.
It's not hard.
That's it.
Even if that means you need to reverse out and go out and reverse back in, just do it.
Yeah.
Save everyone else,
Exactly.
please. Common etiquette.
3 seconds.
Beautiful. All right. I got to take a piss now.
So,
And then
broke the seal, bro.
oh no.
Yeah, bro. It's fucking annoying. Oh, the other day, right? It's even like when people like park next to the curb, but they don't move up, or the car behind doesn't move back. So there's one spot, you know. It's like there's so much room in front and behind.
Driver.
Man,
I had the other day, right? I was going to a coffee shop with my girlfriend, and the taxi driver probably had about at least 2.5 meters of space in front of him
Yeah.
to go up to the car, so I could reverse parallel park.
it's annoying, bro.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I still made the reverse parallel park, but it was really tight. I probably had about this much space.
Yeah.
On either end.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It wasn't much.
Yeah, but he could have moved up a little bit. You
But
know?
he could have just moved up to make my life a bit easier.
It's annoying, man. Like, even though someone probably would have got the spot before me if they did that, it gets me every time when I gotta, like, you see it and you're like, I could have parked there. Fucking
Yeah. Oh god, just thought of another one for growing my gears, man.
What is it?
I had another one as well. That's right.
No, you know what? I'm gonna turn this into a rant.
Wait, what?
Bro, back to the parking spots. All right, you know when you go into a car park for like Westfields or something.
Yeah.
All right, and you're searching around for the green light because you want to find the free parking spot on a busy day, and there's a green light open.
Yeah.
All right, but then there's
I know where you're going,
there's someone with like a motorbike or a small car, and the light's still fucking green. So you're chasing around these green lights. All right.
I just said.
In the time that you could have found an actual open parking spot that might be red because it's not working for some reason.
Yeah.
You know what? It's the 21st fucking century. All right, it shouldn't be hard to develop this technology, but for some reason it's never working. They should just either take out the lights completely or make them work. All right, because I don't want to be chasing a green light that's actually occupied
Yeah.
when someone else all right, is
Exactly.
going to a real parking spot
And
that
you're
I
not-
could have got.
yeah.
But now, because I chased the green light, now I'm still going to be circling around this car park.
You got someone in a
As a
Toyota.
motorbike driver as well, you should never have to park in a park. Like, there's always parking
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's always.
Like,
Yeah. And also, like, there's an etiquette as well. If you're going to do that, I hate it when the motorbike drivers, they park at the back of the
All the
parking
way
spot.
back.
So
Oh
you go
my
in
God.
and you almost hit the motorbike. You know, you're supposed to park at the front, to the left or to the right, so another motorbike can go in. And you do it at the front so people can see you.
Yeah,
You
right.
gotta-
And at least for motorbike drivers as well, right? The least you could do, all right, is give enough space for another motorbike to come in that spot. You got plenty of space there.
You
All right.
You got some guy in a Toyota Micra. You can't even see. Just
Oh yeah.
so, as everyone knows here, my favourite segment is stressful situations, whether necessary or unnecessary. And I just want to do one this week because we didn't have any down in the show notes for this week, but I've got one. All right. It's when you have someone over and they stay way too long and you got work the next morning and you want to
Bro.
tell them to leave, but you can't.
The amount of times I've been in that situation, that is necessarily stressful.
It is
That's not even a debate,
Yeah,
right?
I'm
It
with
is
you.
stressful, man, because especially that person talks for ages,
Oh,
and you can't get the conversation ender. Like,
Yeah.
You know what?
That
I'll even go
segues.
as far to say, you know, like if you're having a busy day,
Yeah.
right? And it could be on the phone with someone,
Yeah.
you could be seeing someone that you know in the street, and they get caught into a conversation with you, and it might be an important topic that they really need to talk about, but you're running late to something, right?
Yeah.
You gotta find that, like Carl Barron says, you gotta find that magic word. Anyways, gotta go,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
Because you just can't find the time to say that, so they're ranting. All of a sudden, you're late for your appointment.
Yeah.
and you can't just like leave.
You know, it's like 1 a.m. and you got work. You got to wake
Yeah,
up at
man.
5, and you're just like, shit, man. I've got to shower. I've got to clean up. Like,
yeah,
and it also, and it's really applicable to like we're Arab. You're
Yeah,
Italian.
yeah.
You're always having people over.
Well, the thing is, like in our, I don't know about Arabs, but like in our culture, Italian, the sign for like someone to leave is you offer them a coffee.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh no,
That's like, but
you know what? For
if,
us,
Start
if
writing
someone
this
else is Italian, like they'd like if someone told me that,
So that's the
it's
universal
tight.
symbol.
It's you have a coffee and then you leave.
Okay.
Like
okay.
you carry on the conversation, have the coffee, and then you go.
Wow.
That's like the universal thing. You offer them a coffee
wow, that's mad.
for Italians.
Because you know what, we should adopt that because
Yes.
with us we have the coffee,
Yeah.
and then we stay for another
You
3
stay,
hours.
yeah.
Yeah. Then you make another. Then you make another.
Then you
But
make
the-
another coffee.
But then the thing is, with Italians, you're on the porch, you're having like another hour conversation. Then they get in the car.
Yeah.
Then it's
And then
another
you-
hour conversation. Then they start the car and they're like
another
slowly
conversation.
driving. Oh no, wait. And then it's another hour conversation. Bro, it's
You've said goodbye like 28 times
man,
before
as a
you've
kid, it's the worst thing. You just sit in the car like, come on, hurry up.
So look, I think we can all agree that is necessarily
Oh, yeah,
stressful.
so stressful.
All right, boys. So considering you guys have been best friends for over a decade at the moment,
Yeah.
and we're all good mates, I want to trial a new
Segment.
segment. Yes, you got me. Segment that actually you came up with
Yeah.
called Brospective.
Mm.
Right. So we're all friends here. I want to know your opinion on dating a friend's ex.
Dating a
Right.
friend's ex. Okay.
Wow.
Do you think that that's a universal bro code no? Or is there some kind of grey area in
Okay.
between?
Now, I'll just start by saying, you know how we got our segment called Reddit. That's actually how I got inspired to bring up this new segment, because there was one on there where he was saying like he fancies this girl at school. All right, and that girl is his friend's ex, and he's like, should I ask permission? Is it okay? Should I or shouldn't I? Blah blah blah. And the way I see this is, all right, it depends on how close you are as friends. I
100%.
say straight away. If you're best friends, I don't think it's ever. I don't think you should ever. If you're
I
best
agree.
friends, never. If you're
Yeah.
acquaintances, friends, you should tread lightly
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the situation. Like
I
if imagine I started dating your ex, you might say to me, "Oh yeah, no worries, bro," because you know me, I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
You might say to me like, "Yeah, no
That's
worries."
right, yeah.
All I can think of is problems down the line. I'm not
Yeah.
thinking of the short. I'm thinking of the long term.
Yeah.
So you maybe start
at
thinking down the
parties
track. It's
or-
like,
Well, he
yeah.
gets a girlfriend. You want to have a party together. His girlfriend knows that it's his ex.
yeah.
It's not a good
It's
situation.
not a good situation.
Yeah, sure, there could be a good situation that occurs from it, but I think there's just too many negatives that can come from it. And the last thing you want to do is risk your friendship for a girl.
Exactly.
Look,
And
I
the same
think that
thing
it
goes
I
for a
think,
girl to a guy.
I think that it can work,
Yeah,
right? But it depends on a few factors. The relationship to begin with. How long were they dating for?
Yeah.
Were they just dating for 3 months and it just didn't work out and he didn't really
Yes.
they didn't really care that much? then maybe it might be your best friend.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter because they were dating for like 3 months. Like, who cares?
Mm.
You're both good guys. just didn't work out.
That's
You
right.
You know,
yeah.
and
It
you
was
all
like
get
surface
along,
level
like,
stuff,
and you didn't have a bad breakup. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
Then it will work out. It's fine.
That's
You got
right,
you got
yeah.
cool stories
all
actually.
parties are happy.
You got a cool story. It depends on so how good friends you are, how long they were in a relationship for, whether the breakup was good or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if your friend as well in the future, it depends on your foresight, but your friend in the future, if he gets a girlfriend, how controlling is his girlfriend going to be? Right? Is there going to be a level of jealousy between his ex-girlfriend, because you don't want to lie to your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right? So is there going to be a level of jealousy, or is she going to be cool with it because like it wasn't a big thing?
Yeah.
It all depends on that. How well do you know your friend?
That's right.
Is that the kind of girl that they go for in the future? Because that's another thing you got to think about, right?
Yeah.
Is when you're going to date a girl that's used to date your mate, you got to know what they're like too, the kind of girl that he's going to be with in the future, because you want to preserve your friendship with your friend over the new relationship you want to start.
That's a good point, because I think if you're gonna do that, you have to be prepared. You got to like be so invested in this girl. You got to be prepared to lose your mate.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Because if something does happen.
Well, I think
If
it's,
you gotta,
I
like,
think
make
it,
up-
I think it goes. But if you're best friends with your mate, if you're really good friends with him,
Yeah.
you got to be willing to drop the girl if absolutely necessary.
That's right.
Right?
Or,
Or
vice
if you're
versa,
not,
yeah.
if you're not like if you're just acquaintances,
Yeah.
you have to be willing to. You have to not value that relationship enough to be like, all right, if I lose the relationship, I lose it. Whatever.
That's right.
That's right.
There's a lot of factors. I think as a whole, I'd say no. Just
Yeah,
keep
I
away
think
from it.
the general rule is no, but
Yeah.
there are extenuating
Yeah.
circumstances.
I could never date one of your exes just out of principle
Yeah,
alone.
yeah, no, of course.
I couldn't.
I got another question. Would you date an ex's friend?
An ex's friend.
Yes.
Okay, that's a tough one. That's not part of the show notes. I mean,
Yeah.
you've stumped us already. Oh, dating a friend's
Would you
ex.
date an ex's friend?
Ah, man. You want to start, Jack?
All
I
right,
gotta
if you're
think.
asking me personally, no.
Yeah.
Right? Do I think it could work? Yeah.
It could work more than it would
Yeah.
if you're dating
If
your
dating
friend's
Yeah.
ex.
friend's ex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
would-
But you know what? The funny thing is that it's actually completely inverted because it's exactly the same situation on their end.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You know?
oh, yeah, actually, that's a good point.
Like, yeah, her friend's ex
Yeah.
So
had to
all-
be prepared to
So
lose
that's the
her
thing.
friend.
That's the same thing, right? All the same rules apply, but on
Yeah.
your end, then you gotta first of all you gotta understand that your relationship with your ex is it good or is it bad. If it's really bad, you gotta understand that there's gonna be a few problems. You might be worried that your girlfriend's gonna be telling your ex all the shit that's going on.
That's right.
You gotta be, or maybe there's a few things that you haven't told the girlfriend that your ex is gonna tell her. Like you gotta understand that there's gonna be words said. You
Oh,
gotta be
yeah.
transparent.
Oh, yeah.
And on the other end, maybe it was a good breakup and you guys are cool and it's all going to work out fine. Like, It works the same way.
Definitely tread lightly.
Tread lightly. That's the
I
if that's a quote
if,
for the
if
podcast.
she's really worth it, tread lightly.
So, Gio, I've got a big question. This is obviously open to the table as well, but I find that this is a situation where they might divide a nation here. So, when you're at a restaurant, okay, and the food comes out, and you see a hair in the food, do you take the hair out and continue as business as usual?
Yeah.
Or do you call the waiter over and be like, "There's hair in the food, please take it back"?
Oh.
What's your opinion on this situation?
Me personally, what I would do, it depends how big the hair. It depends on my feeling.
was it an inch? Was it
I
like
don't-
5
well,
inches? Like,
Was it a
okay.
curly whirly?
Maybe not how big the hair is.
how deep,
Was it curly?
how deep is it into your food?
It's like that.
Like, is it
How big
stuck-
is the bowl, bro?
It's like that movie with Kevin Hart. You know when he doesn't want to pay for the
Yeah,
he
he
doesn't want to pay
just
for the
takes
bill
a pube
and he takes a pube out and puts it
on
in
his
puts it in the food to get a free bit.
Yeah, well, man, I wouldn't be surprised people do that, honestly.
But yeah, so what's your opinion on the situation?
It's honestly, it's on my feeling.
Yeah,
It depends
so
how.
I'm gonna take that one.
Yeah, go for it.
That's
It's just resting. It depends how grossed out I feel. And it's just based, like, it could be the smallest hair and I'm grossed out. I'm like, nah, I'm going to send this back.
Did you
Yeah.
just say the smell of his hair?
No, the smallest hair.
Oh,
What
I
you
was
gonna-
gonna- I was gonna say what you
Just smelling.
yeah.
Honestly, and I think that's probably the worst answer ever because it could be like the shortest hair, the biggest hair, but it's honestly on my feeling at the time.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, oh, just like take it out, oh, no, I'm fine, I can eat it.
I think, all right, if I can sort of generalize what you're saying, if it was like, let's say a restaurant that is very well kept, it's very clean,
Yeah.
the service is great, you're not going to care as much.
Yeah.
But if it's like, let's say, like a rundown out of the
Well,
shack,
that's a good
Well,
point.
look, if I find a hair in my McDonald's cheeseburger, I'm sending it back,
Yeah.
right? But I also understand that, like, for example, chefs or whatever, you'd get into a lot of shit if they knew
Yeah.
who made that meal, right?
Yeah,
So I think about that too, because
That's exactly right.
I don't want to ruin someone's job because it's a cutthroat kind of industry.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to get in big trouble or fired because a piece of hair fell off their head.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all human. Shit
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
Like, I'll take the hair off. I'll keep eating. And some
Yeah.
people might think that's gross, but at the end of the day, right? Especially if you're at a nice restaurant, all right, it's kept to a certain standard,
Yeah.
right? And you don't want to ruin someone's working day just because of a very, very small incident.
Yeah.
That's not even a big deal. Just take it off, eat a meal. It's not really going to change the meal.
Yeah.
And really, at the end of the day, a hair's a hair. Like, it's
Well,
not
that's-
it's
I
not a
mean,
big deal.
That's a big factor, like what you said at a nice restaurant. You're paying a lot of money. It depends on the individual. If
Yeah,
someone could walk
that's
in and be
true.
like, "I'm paying a lot of money," like I don't want a hair in my plate, whether it's like small or big, or even if it's just like on the side of the plate. It's not even in the food.
Yeah.
They could send it back,
Yeah.
which is understandable.
It's
because they're paying that
understandable,
money.
but at the same time, at a big restaurant,
Yeah.
like these people that they're working so hard, like I've seen chefs work. I used to work at like a cafe / restaurant in the night, and they work non-stop, even when it's quiet. You're
Yeah.
still, pumping out dishes,
Yeah.
and I don't want to see anyone get into trouble because I want to pick at something so small.
Yeah, I think it depends on the individual.
Yeah.
I feel it
think
comes down to a personality trait.
Yeah.
If you're naturally someone that likes to complain,
Yeah.
you're going to complain. If you're
That's
someone
right.
like me, I'm going to go business as usual in most scenarios, even if I'm at a fancy restaurant. Like when I came to S,
Yeah.
how
many
I
hairs
saw a
did you
hair,
find
I'm just
that?
going to be like, I'm just going to take the hair out.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'll just go like, Gio, man, he's
See,
no good.
It's
He's
funny.
no good.
It's funny that you said before. It's like some people are gonna think, oh, well, I'm paying big money. I don't want hair in my food, so I'm
That's
gonna
right.
send it back.
Yeah.
Right, because you're paying the money, so you
That's
expect
right.
the product, right? Whatever.
Mm.
Anyways, and then maybe at McDonald's they'll be like, oh well, I just paid $10, whatever. Like I'll
Yeah.
take it out. And then for some other people, it's the opposite way around.
Yeah.
Right. At McDonald's, it's such a big production. They're not going to care. They're just going to pump you out another one and give it to you and say,
and it could
"Oh,
have another
sorry."
hair in it. Like,
You know?
I don't even
Yeah.
check.
And then like I
Be
said,
part
at
of the
the big
ingredients list.
exactly. So like, again, it depends on the people.
Yeah.
Some people it's that way. Some people it's the
Yeah.
complete opposite. Just depends.
Well, that's it. And then you get people that actually like think, oh, I could get a free meal out of this now. It might not
Yeah,
mean anything, but then they just blow up and say, oh, there's a hair in my food. I want to.
they exaggerate the situation.
Have you ever come across that where someone's actually milked something to get a free meal?
Well, look, yes. I'm going to say yes. Because we have a discussion in the kitchen and then
Yeah.
we talk to the waiters and we're like, yeah, they're just being assholes.
Okay.
They just want a free meal,
So you got the mothers
like the way
meeting.
they're going.
You got a
on,
mothers
yeah.
meeting in the
Could you
hallway.
give us like an example of when, like the
when
kind
that
of situation where it might happen?
It could be like a steak that's been like they say it's, so it could be the medium well steak. We go back to that,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I ordered medium well. This isn't medium well. Cook it more, and then they say, oh, I want a free meal. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
It was-
And it's just that kind of thing.
See, the way I think about this stuff is, and it's the same way I think about like lawsuits a lot of the time, but I'm not going to touch on that because it's a very touchy subject.
Yeah.
But if you really care about your meal that much, you're not caring about getting your, because if you're at a nice restaurant, you're paying $600-700, whatever, with a bunch of people, you're not going to care about the extra $50-60 for your steak,
Yeah.
right? You're going to want to pay the money,
Yeah.
and you just say, I'll pay for it. I just want a good, I
Yeah.
want it done right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if they're like, oh, I don't like the way it's done, I want it discounted and free,
Yeah.
you don't care about the meal, man. You just,
Yeah.
you want the discount.
They've probably already
But
gone in
that's
there with the
right.
intent.
Exactly.
Doing that.
Yeah. And there are people like that.
Yeah.
They
Just
are. It's crazy. It baffles me.
For the people listening, stop trying to get freebies, man. Business as usual.
Yeah, man.
You know what? It's time for a bit of a would you rather. Let's get a bit silly right now.
We love a bit of silly time.
Let's get
Silly, new segment, silly time.
Silly time.
All right. Again, we got printer issues. All right, so we've got to read off the screen. Apologies to the viewers on YouTube. But the first one, all right. So the Dragon Ball Z lads are coming for a fight. Would you rather the Marvel or DC squad to back you up?
Bro, there's not even a question. Actually, you know what? No.
Here he goes already.
Yeah, man. You
Straight
got to
away,
think about everyone in Marvel and DC.
No. Because the way that I see it, right, is that DC is shit except for two people.
Yep. That's
Batman and Superman.
Batman and
right?
Superman.
And Superman is gonna destroy everyone, right?
Yeah.
And Batman is smart enough to at least figure it out,
Yeah.
right? Whereas Marvel's just all around gonna ruin them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
we're all superheroes.
So
Okay.
I don't know who I'd rather.
I feel like after that you'd rather Marvel. Like
I think I'd rather Marvel. Yeah.
I'm going for Marvel. I'm going for Marvel
going for
too.
Marvel.
Like I feel like it's just smarter. I'm not.
It's more of a team game with
Look,
Marvel.
at the end of the day, I'm not a big into the comics and all that stuff. My favorite superhero is Batman, right? Part of DC, of course. But if I'm going to think objectively, all right, my life's on the line here. I'm going to go Marvel.
Yeah.
Sorry, Batman.
Bro, I want Captain America
Sorry, Bruce.
right behind me. Or no, in front of me.
Yeah. Is that,
Captain America, that's a weird pick, man.
what was wrong with
Oh,
Captain?
I don't know, man. That shield is pretty strong, bro. Like,
That's-
yeah.
I pictured Dragon Ball Z. They're throwing like fireballs and stuff.
Kamehamehas and this,
Bro, you
yeah.
want a shield.
See, but but in that situation, if you're gonna pick Captain America,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you just say I want Superman?
There's no shield.
But
He'll
you
just
really-
stand in front of it like
Yeah,
this.
his whole
Yeah, I
body's
don't
a
know.
shield.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I just feel like Marvel is the smarter pick.
It just makes me feel safer. That's all.
Yeah.
Do you want to read out the next one, Jack?
All right. So, would you rather have a piece of broccoli stuck between your two front teeth for a day, or have an eyelash stuck in your eye for a day?
That's a very annoying situation to be in both
Man, that's a very good
situations.
question.
Like,
Look,
yeah.
as annoying as it is, all right, and I think people will agree with me on this one. I'd rather have the eyelash stuck. As annoying as it's going to be, I'll have the eyelash in my eye. I don't want to be walking around in public with a broccoli with like the
How
the
big is
Amazon,
the broccoli?
with the
is it just a
Amazon-
small
You can
piece of
see it,
broccoli?
it's a big
It's
piece.
small, but like it's there.
I don't
Yeah,
want to, in
like-
the words of in the words of Theodore Bagwell from Prison Break, I don't want to be walking around with the Amazon rainforest between my two front teeth. Like,
Yeah, it's weird because it's really a matter of do you want to feel comfortable for a day? Like, do you want
I
to
was
do you want to
just
feel
thinking that.
really uncomfortable for a day, or would you rather feel embarrassed for a day?
I was just thinking.
You know what
and
I
you
mean?
gotta decide that.
You got to decide that. So it depends on what you're working in, right? If you're working a 9 to 5 sitting behind a desk, I'd rather the broccoli between my two front teeth because I'm not going to be uncomfortable, and I'm not really going to be embarrassed because I'm not meeting anyone,
That's right.
you know. But whereas if I'm out in the public eye doing a lot of stuff, I'd rather have the eyelash because I might be uncomfortable, but I'm not going to be embarrassed and
Yeah.
be a meme.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Man, I think for me, on my personality, I'd rather have the broccoli in my teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You won't care. You'll own it
Because
yeah.
I'd own it.
You actually make it a conversation starter.
Yeah, I mean, it might gross people out, but then like I'm very much like I don't care. You know, I got my friends around me. Like even if we are out, like
Yeah,
I'm not here like to impress people.
Yeah, I agree with
I don't
Gio,
want to
man.
like be like, fucking like a winky.
Yeah.
Like try to
Yeah.
get.
Because
You're doing the
if
George-
you've ever
you're doing
really
the
had an
George- you're doing the
eyelash,
George Costanza wink.
yeah, like if you've ever really had an eyelash stuck in your eye, that shit is uncomfortable.
Yeah, like it's a hard question. Yeah.
I'd rather have the broccoli.
Yeah.
I
Oh, don't get me wrong, man, but it can't be worse than when we were at your dad's office smoking nargile, and then I dropped your Aggie and I broke it, and then the coal went in my eye. See, for me, that was the most.
Bro, that's a coal in your eye.
Like the ash, not the actual
Oh,
hot
yeah.
coal, but the ash.
Yeah,
and to me, that was the most uncomfortable experience in my life. So I can handle an eyelash.
Your
I
eyes
reckon.
would like start watering as well.
Yeah, I can
Like-
handle an eyelash, man. I was driving
Yeah.
home with like one eye. Looking like I had an
Yeah,
eye
I'm
patch on,
good.
you know. All right, we got one more. Can you read the screen for me?
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so our next would you rather walk around all day with wet socks or a rock in your shoe?
I think this comes back to
Bro,
Comfort.
I think I am the perfect person to ask this question.
Yeah.
Right, because I used to work at the airport,
yeah.
and we'd be out in the rain, so I'd be trudging around,
Trudging.
with the
Love a good trudge.
with the wet shoes.
Yeah.
Right. So, I would rather have the wet socks, even though they'll stink at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Than the rock in your shoe
your
because
feet
you're
get all
stepping on a
wrinkly.
rock all day. You're gonna be limping around.
Yeah.
Trying to
Okay.
move it. The wet socks you can deal with that for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with Jackson.
Yeah?
I'd rather have wet socks.
Yeah.
I like the thought of like that pain in your foot, like you're stepping on a rock every step you take. Like,
Yeah.
nah, can't do that.
And now look, going into this, I was thinking, I'd 100% rather the wet sock. But look, I played golf the other week.
Oh,
I played golf, all right, and it's obviously been raining a lot. Okay,
Yeah, right.
And we had to play like a consolidation round where they just, from the first hole to the 18th hole, they just mix them up.
Yeah.
Because some holes are more wet than the others.
yeah.
All right. It was very muddy. It was very wet. I played that whole game with basically wet socks, muddy socks, and it was disgusting.
It's just uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why now thinking about it, I'm like, would I really rather it wasn't that bad, I guess. But
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, it depends on, like, it's a mental thing as well. Can
Yeah.
you handle it? Can you just not care about it?
Yeah.
With the rock, you can't not care about it because you're feeling
Yeah.
it. Whereas with the wet socks, it's like being sweaty.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, can you just handle being sweaty all
You know
day?
what?
It,
All right.
it depends for how long. Like you
Yeah.
get sick. You can get sick from like wet socks.
Yeah.
True.
You get like gangrene and stuff.
Yeah, like start getting
You know
trench
what?
foot.
No, I'm gonna look. All right, I'm gonna be normal. I'm gonna go the wet sock.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
you
be
do
normal.
you, bro.
I'm
It's
gonna go the wet sock.
Yeah,
man.
okay.
So Giovanni, before you jumped on this podcast, we were obviously talking. I was trying to brief you
Yeah.
on it. You came up with a topic,
Yeah.
all right, that I think is very applicable this day and age, and it's a very great question. So
Yeah.
let's hear it, bro. What's the topic?
Yeah, man. So this topic, it definitely relates to everyone in the workplace. It 100% relates to what I do
Yeah.
in the kitchen. You know that the phrase "customers always right."
Yeah.
Are they actually always right?
Customer's always wrong, bitch.
It's funny because we had a few weeks ago we were with Andy,
Yeah.
and he kind of in a way touched on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
About when you have a customer coming into your shop, they don't know exactly what they want. You want to go to a professional, For example, like you were talking about with the medium well steak.
That's right. Yeah.
Right, the customer doesn't necessarily isn't to your experience about cooking what a steak needs to look like when it's
Yeah.
medium well.
Exactly
You know what
right.
it's like,
Exactly
right?
right.
So the customer can't be right if he asks for a medium well steak. The chef is going to give it to him medium well,
Yeah.
right? He can't complain then.
Exactly right. Yeah.
That it's not to his liking. You got to if you want it to be that way, you got to describe what you like.
Yeah.
And that goes for everything. You go to a retail store with people that are like a tailor that are trying to fit you out with the best suit.
Yeah.
They're the fashion, like they know what looks good, what works with what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just sit there and say I want a blue shirt and a red tie, and they're gonna be like, oh no, I don't think that'll look good, and you tell them they're wrong. No, that's not how it works. You go to a professional place, you want the experience that comes with going to a professional place.
Well, that's it. I mean, I think if you know you're picky as well,
Yeah.
you gotta be specific.
Yeah.
Like I want a medium, but it's got to be like a little bit pink in the middle, and it's got to be grey, or like the suit, or it's got to be this. Otherwise, I'm not gonna have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what customers got to do. But then a face is challenged like every day. Like what I've grown up to learn in hospitality, it's like customers are always right, because at the end of the day, they're paying the bill. You want them to come back. But there does get to a point where if you are working at that top level and you're putting out kind of new trends and new food,
Yeah.
you kind of want to educate people as well
Yeah.
as to like what you're putting out and get people used to it.
Yeah.
So you pick your battles, like if you're putting out food and like, okay, for a scenario, 10 people love it, but one person is like, no, this is wrong.
Yeah.
You can say to that person, go away. I don't want to serve you.
Yeah.
I'm going to serve the 9 people because they're going to, come back. And
Yeah.
that's the food we're doing.
Okay.
So it's very touchy, and also it depends on how much money they spend. Like if they really get into wines.
Like
Yeah.
in a way, it's kind of like as a philosophy, the customer is always right is applicable.
Yeah.
But
Right,
the
as a
customer
philosophy,
really-
because it's about you lost the battle, you won the war kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
the customer's always right, because at the end of the day, the point of being a chef is you want to have your own business or whatever it might be. You want customers, you want them to enjoy the experience.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they're actually right. It just means you want to satisfy them.
That's
The question then
exactly
becomes:
right.
is the customer really right?
Are they really right?
Like, really,
Eat your steak.
All right, Giovanni, I got a good question for you. Because I worked in hospitality as well. For
That's
like
right, you did.
yeah.
Yes.
So
kinda
did I
forgot
for
about
like
that. Yeah.
2 months, 3
2
months.
months. All
Where
right.
did you work? at
I worked at the Bistro Mounties, and then
Yes.
I moved over to Suffer by the River
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Parramatta.
yeah,
great
yeah.
great restaurant
Yeah.
in Parramatta.
That's right.
Family-owned restaurant. All right,
about that,
so
yeah.
I can sort of chime in on this as well.
Yeah.
But when we had Ellie on, we started talking about how in America they're dying to serve you
Yep.
because
I
they
remember
obviously
that
operate.
episode. Yeah, that was a good
They
one.
they operate out of tips.
Yeah.
Right, because they get shit wages. Now, obviously, here you get paid. It's good wages, it's solid wages. You know, 13, 14, 15, $16 an hour, as
Yeah.
opposed to America.
Yeah.
Do you think here in Australia, we would benefit more in the hospitality industry, getting tipped, basically focusing more on tips than wages?
Man, there's a lot of factors
Yeah.
to take into.
And that's why I was excited to
Yeah,
bring
there's
you
a
on
lot of
because you know
factors.
the ins and you
There's a
know.
lot. I mean, okay, you can look at a financial point. You
Yeah.
got your superannuation,
Okay.
you know, and you got the security of a wage
Yeah.
as well. You know, if you got to pay a mortgage off, this amount comes out of your pay. So there's a lot of factors, you know.
Yeah.
From a customer experience point of view, I think low wages, high tips.
Yeah.
It should be, because then it becomes a more honorable job.
Yeah.
Where if it's incentive based, and I think that's what Ellie touched on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of an honor to serve someone, you know, to have someone come in, you know, and you work for those tips.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's why in America, like, it's very frowned upon if you don't tip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you gotta tip.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
had a friend. He was in Hawaii, and he was paying the bill, and he tipped.
Yeah.
He gave his I think it was like 15% tip, and he walked out. The
Yeah.
guy didn't think he tipped him, so he runs, he chases him.
He
up.
chased him?
He chased him
Wow.
up the road and said, "Hey, you didn't tip me, man. You didn't tip me." And he's like, "Yeah, I did. Look at the receipt." And he checked, and then he's just like, "Oh." He just walked off. No.
Yeah, it's
walked
just
off. Yeah.
normal, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Like no, there was no thing. Like oh no, sorry, no, you know what I mean.
Oh man, and then
And I'll touch on what I mean. I'll expand on that a little bit. But
Yeah, and
continue.
there's got to be a massive balance. As like, the culture has to start like coming straight away to tip more.
Yeah.
If you're going to get a low wage,
Yeah.
you know, like it's got to be like mandatory, like 15% tip, like you said.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one's going to work in hospitality.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very touchy.
Yeah.
But I think for a customer service point of view, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
100%,
that?
because-
Sorry.
No, go for it.
Do you think that in a way it'll also get more people to want to go out because they'll have those better experiences when
100%.
they go out? So you could say that, you know, the business might be making a certain amount of money, right?
Yeah.
And they're not paying those kind of wages as well, because
Yeah.
then super goes into it as well, because you got to pay a certain percentage above the wage, so you're not even paying as much super
Yeah,
Yeah.
either,
Yeah.
right? So then in a way they'd be making more money, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, but maybe they'd bring the price down of foods because they don't have to pay the wages.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You know,
right. Yeah.
but then you'd have more recurring people that
Yeah.
want to come in because they have better experiences when they come in.
oh yeah, 100%. I
So
think
it would be an
yeah.
overall benefit to
Yeah.
everyone.
I think so. I think there's no better feeling of like leaving a place feeling like you've been looked after.
Yeah.
You know,
And then
like you've
leaving,
been welcomed.
and
Yeah.
leaving that tip at the
Whereas
end.
someone where like, you know, I know so many cases where like waiters, they get the high wage in Australia and they get so much more tips as well.
Yeah.
You know, and it's still like they haven't. I mean, there are restaurants where like you get high spenders and that haven't necessarily had to work for the tips
Yeah.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
It's a
agree.
touchy
There's
subject
It's
for
very
you.
touchy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a
It's-
lot of people that will be out there and be like, no, like we don't want our wages dropped. We don't want to have to work for
Yeah,
our
that's
tips
right.
because we
That's
want our
right.
money. Like,
'Cause they're so accustomed.
and you know what? And it's a tough job as well. So it's not like anyone's trying to say they don't deserve their money.
Yeah.
But the point is that tips being anything, and that goes for not hospitality, anything. When it's incentive based, brings out the best working
Yeah,
people.
That's right.
So that's not the point of trying to say you deserve less wages. That's not what anyone's trying to say, because you do. It's a tough industry, and it's not easy to work hard, right?
Yeah.
You're having a bad day. You can't always work to the best of your ability at all times.
Yeah.
You know, but it does give you that extra edge.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to touch upon, and it's what I was saying about my mate in Hawaii. At the end of that, I talked about how the guy basically said, "Oh, you did tip me," and then just walked off without saying. That's the one negative I think for me, because I agree with you. There should be tips, and it should be more tip incentive based. But the issue of being tipped is that I feel like it sort of almost dehumanizes people
Yeah.
in a way.
In a way.
Because it's just, all right, I got my tip, that's it. Got it. You know what I mean?
And also touching on that, because that's a really good point. It dehumanizes people because it's like it's not like they're working a job and they're getting what they deserve. It's also they're working a job, but they're in a way like a servant for which they are. You call them,
service.
But but it's a service. But they're like a servant. You got to do everything you can for this group of people,
right, yeah.
but you also got to do it for the other table you might be serving.
Yeah.
Like, and then you might have a group of people that are assholes, and because of something small, they might not want to tip you, or they're going to give you a smaller tip for something that might be out of your control as well. So it dehumanizes you and devalues you as well in that kind of sense, because maybe things that are out of your control, out of what you can, do for those people, affect how much you're going to get tipped.
Yeah.
Because then you're also thinking like for the person that's being tipped, the person that's working there, will increase your anxiety and just like, okay, why didn't I get tipped more? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Or even during the shift, am I going to get tipped? Am I going to have enough to pay rent?
And it could be a bad meal, but that's not the waiter's fault.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's a good point as well.
Yeah. So Gio, just before we wrap this one up, we want to just open-end question for you.
Yeah.
What's next for Chef Giovanni? Where do you want to? Where do you?
So where exactly are you now? What's the next step?
Yeah. Right. So now I'm at like a high level of what I do in the kitchen. I'm involved in, I guess, pretty much all the management side. Menu planning and executing dishes and all that. But I don't know. I think for me is to just kind of step back and then kind of travel a bit, because I think I get to a point where like you do your apprenticeship, you learn so much that you can in the kitchen from someone, but then you get to a point where no one can really teach you anymore. You got to teach yourself.
Okay.
I think, and that's where like the kind of artisanal part of working in hospitality comes out. It's very much like traveling, eating, teaching yourself, reading, repetition as well in what you do. I think the next step is to I don't know, we'll see. I mean, it'd be nice to take a step back for maybe a year, 2 years, and then propel myself forward. I think kind of refocus.
And for anyone that's maybe listening, because we have a younger viewing audience. For anyone that may be thinking of getting into the field of hospitality and being a chef, what advice could you give to them when they starting their journey?
The advice I always give is you got to love what you do. Love cooking. Like if you love food and you love cooking, then you always wake up in the morning, you always go to work. But then if you're working in a kitchen for just wages, just to make money, don't do it. Stay away from it. Because you lose your social life. Like you work weekends, it's high pressure. You just don't need it. Go work somewhere else, and it's not good for the business as well if you're not really in it. If anyone's, wanted to become a chef, mate, you got to love what you do.
Love what you do.
Love cooking.
Love what you do. I think that's a great quote to end this podcast. How do you feel about the whole podcast in general?
Yeah, felt good.
Your first
it's good. It's good to catch up with you boys. I haven't seen you in a while.
Oh man, I haven't seen you for weeks.
Yeah,
bro.
I know.
This is the first time I've seen you.
It's like it goes back to what I'm saying. You lose your social life.
That's it. I mean, like we talk, but I actually haven't seen you. I want to say I haven't seen you for like probably a month and a half, 2 months.
Well, that's what I found. Like you lose a lot of your friends, but you keep the ones that matter, and I think that's the best part about it.
Oh, you guys gonna hug it out?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's it, man. That's
and that's what's important. So,
but Gio, we appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. It won't be the last time. That's
Thanks
for sure.
For having
the
me.
vibe today was, I have to say, that was mad.
Awesome.
That was mad things.
Mad things.
Ned Flanders.
Ned Flanders. I know you love the Ray stories.
I love the Ray. I love Ray.
We didn't touch on that.
We didn't touch on Ray, but
I wanted to leave Ray alone for a bit. You know
what?
He's doing.
No, we're not going to end this podcast yet. We're going to keep it going.
All right.
We're going to bring up Ray.
All right, let's bring up Ray.
Do you remember when he was working at Goldmark?
Oh yeah.
And he told everyone he was working at Prouds.
So do you remember? And we were hanging out. We were at Westfield.
Yeah,
and then we went to visit him.
Yeah, we walked in. Yeah,
And he
I remember
and he
that.
was trying to sell you sell you a watch and stuff.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was selling. He was trying to put it on. He couldn't get it on.
But you know what? At the time, I didn't think much of it. Like, I thought it was just because I think that was probably the first time I met him as well.
That was the first time.
It was,
The
you
first
know?
time I met him was at
It
Goldmark.
was the first time I met him, and I didn't think much of it. I thought that was like, oh, he was just trying to be funny or muck around. But
Yeah.
years go past, that's actually Ray. You
That's
know?
Ray.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's actually right.
Just being an awkward, weird guy.
Is that an awkward weird guy?
Nah, I love Ray.
love
We
him.
all love Ray.
We
I
all
mean,
love
yeah.
Ray.
Oh,
With
man.
that said, you know what? I want to do the social media plugs to end this
Yeah,
podcast.
man.
So, guys, for everyone that's listening, obviously, if you're watching us on YouTube, remember to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell that is next to the subscribe button.
Sounded like every other YouTuber.
Yeah, I
right
know.
Just
All we have to
smack it.
smack it, man. Slap
Smack
that
it.
bell. Slap that bell. All right, and that's at the Sunday Smoke. You
You're
can
ready
also
to smash that like button.
You can also catch us on Instagram. That's at the Sunday Smoke. Also, that's where you can send us your voice messages, audio messages, whatever you like. Send us any topics or just say good day. And then you can also get us on TikTok, the Sunday Smoke clips. That's the highlight package, which Jackson is taking over.
Jackson.
That's
Creative control.
Hello.
Creative control.
Eh?
Also, with that as well, if you want to check out Gio's cooking, head over to
Mimi's.
There you
Mimi's
go.
Coogee Pavilion. Yeah, if you ever
You want to have a
Mimi's,
great meal?
come by, say hello. Literally walk in the kitchen because you can. It's
Yeah.
an open kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, just say hello. Yeah,
All right,
just follow us on Instagram.
Catch him on
That's
Instagram.
it.
Maybe you'll see Gio pop his head up.
Yeah. Come
But
say hello.
again, Gio, thanks for coming on the
Cheers,
podcast,
boys.
bro.
Pleasure.
We appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having me.
First and certainly not the last time.
With that being said, man, what time is it, Gio?
Time to take the coals off, boys.
Oh yeah. That was the best. I was wondering if you're gonna know.
Oh, bro, I almost forgot. Like, oh, it's coals. Something. Take the coals off.
Put the coals on.
Put the coals on. Oh, shit.
Coals.
Ash
The coals. Tobacco.
Fire blanket. Gotta teach me those circles, bro.
The
You
O-rings.
just gotta like. At first, I just kind of learned to. It's like a cough from the back of your throat, but really, really soft. While you have like your lips in an O shape. But then like eventually, it's kind of just you gotta lock your jaw out like this, and then
Yeah.
snap your jaw.
Yeah, right. I can't do
Give it a crack.